One of the old-timers that was an all-time favorite for the Fort Wayne Komets, and actually the last member of the line that still holds the record of 364 points in a season to have on Comet Corner, is John Jumbo Goodwin. Jumbo, how you been?
Real good, Bob.
You know, I just last week talked to your old centerman, Bobby Rivard.
Oh, no kidding.
And you guys are in similar businesses.
He's in golf course, isn't he?
Yep. He's at the golf course in Peterborough.
That's great.
And you're over in Lima keeping things green over there.
That's right, yep.
And a long time back, had your other winger on, Stubby.
Oh.
Check.
Merv, yep.
Yeah, you can see how far back I've been reaching for
You've really been going back, Bob.
Oh, yeah. And you'd be happy to know that Merv quit smoking.
Stubby didn't quit.
He quit smoking, but he said he still hasn't quit drinking beer.
Well, he's still drinking that good Canadian beer.
Well, he's still working for Labatt, so what the heck do you expect, you know?
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about what John Goodwin's been doing over the years. I know the last you played, I believe, was here with the Fort Wayne Komets. You played some senior over in Lima, I know, for a while. But basically, you've been kind of pursuing a living and a profession, haven't you?
Yes, I have, Bob. Well, when the year last year was 1968 when I left sort of permanently, and then in 69 and 70, I did come back and play 10 games one time, and I played 5 or 6 games the other time. But since then, I've been in Lima. For 13 years, I was a golf course superintendent at Shawnee Country Club over here. And then I just sort of switched professions. I still look after grass and everything, but I manage a cemetery.
Okay.
Which is a real different story, Bob. Over here, the customers really don't complain that the divots aren't replaced or anything at the cemetery, but it's really a nice job, and I did well by making the move from the golf course to the cemetery.
How's your golf? Has that suffered?
Oh, no, I still get out and manage to play quite a bit, and not as much as I would like to, but it's my second love, no doubt about that.
Still got the short backswing?
Yeah, short backswing, the little slap shot, they call it.
Yeah, he just punches them out there, and away they fly.
That's right.
But you of course, had an association kind of with Fort Wayne before you even got there, because, of course, you knew Ken Elliott long before he came to Fort Wayne.
Yes, I played junior hockey in Saskatoon, and Ken was coaching at Prince Albert, and we were in the same league. And so I had known Ken well before I did come to Fort Wayne.
Yeah. And how many of the Goodwin boys all played hockey?
Well, there's 6 boys in our family, and my 2 oldest brothers played just senior hockey.
Yeah.
But I had 3 brothers who played professional hockey. One played, older brother played for Portland Buckaroos in the Western League for 10, 12 years, and another brother who played in Spokane and in amateur in Saskatoon. And I'll tell you, he was the fortunate one. He's gone to Europe 3 times to play old-timers hockey, and he's really got around.
Now, wasn't one of the brothers involved in the Players Union at one time as well?
Yes, my older brother I.H.L, was involved with the Players Union, right.
Well, of course, things change so much in terms of what happens in and out of hockey. And I know once you came down to the States, you decided to stay. You ever had any regrets that you did what you did?
No, Bob. I just love it down here. I finally became an American citizen. I loved it so much, and I love to go back and visit, but this is my home now.
You miss hockey at all, John? Of course, you've been away from it quite a while now.
Yeah, it's still there. I get excited when I watch the game on TV once in a while, but I still enjoy going over to Fort Wayne and playing the old-timers game and meeting all the old guys and playing. It's something you just never sort of get out of your blood.
Well, we've got a move afoot now that we've talked to all 3 of you on this line. For the old-timers game next year, we're going to try to get all of you together and skate you as a line again. Oh,
that would be great. I haven't seen Bobby for quite a while. In fact, since he last played in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
Merv did come down one year and play with the old-timers, but it's been quite a few years, and it'll be great to see and play with the old guys. It really would.
Well, when I talked to Bobby, I asked about his family, and he said his son never played hockey, but he was a basketball player.
He would be too short, wouldn't he?
Well, that's what I said. Well, how tall was he, Bob? And he said about 5'7", and I said, geez, he was almost as big as you were. But good things came in small packages. You weren't a giant of a man either.
No, I was only 5'8", and when I played, I was only about 150 pounds, 55 pounds. But they're building. I'll tell you what, they're all big now.
What do you? I know you watch the game a lot. What do you see different that you either like or dislike regards modern day hockey compared to when you played, say, up to 13, 14, 15 years ago?
Well, I'll tell you why I like it. They're fast, they shoot hard, and they're big. But I think the finesse game is gone. You don't see any Lenny Thornsons out there who was a master with the puck, and you don't see the good passing. I'll tell you, it really behooves me sometimes to watch them. They seem like they can't even pass the puck across the rink. Some players and some teams. But,
and how many people can take a backhand pass anymore?
You're right. The fundamentals, I think, are gone from the game. The speed and I think what has taken over is speed and the size of the players and the hard shots. Oh, they shoot so much harder now.
Yeah, and of course the dump and run seems to be the standard process of the game, and dump and run was one of the things that was the last resort when the finesse was in the game.
That's right. That was the last thing you ever thought about was dumping it in and then chasing it, but that's the game now.
Hockey, of course, has made such an incredible resurgence in all over North America. Look at the I.H.L. Would you have ever believed, John, when you played in the I.H.L. that we're now practically border to border and coast to coast?
No. When we went to Minneapolis and St. Paul and Omaha, I thought, boy, this is really a big road trip. But now, golly, they're all the way out to the West Coast, and they're even going east now, and they're down south. Hockey's been great. It's a great spectator sport, and it's still on the rise, I think.
I have to believe that you're probably right in that particular area. And, of course, I can always remember the bus trip coming back from Minneapolis back in the early 60s, Jumbo, and we were sitting on the bus playing a few card games, and I can remember you saying all the way home, how about that, Chaser? We're leading them 3-1.
That's right. And we came home and we beat them and won the Turner Cup that year, yep.
And, of course, that, I believe, was that the first year we won the Turner Cup? Or the second time?
That was the second
time. That's right.
We won the Turner Cup against Des Moines, right?
But strangely enough, the guy who was involved in both of them as a winning goaltender was Chuck Adamson.
Yeah, Chuck was, he would still be, he's a great goaltender and he could have played any place.
Yeah, I guess he could have. Unfortunately, he was involved at a time there wasn't any room to play anywhere.
Yeah, that's right. When we... back in the early 60s, there was only 6-7 teams in the National Hockey League, and there wasn't many places to go, really.
But John, when you reflect on the talent in the game in those days, the major reason that no one was playing in the National Hockey League was there were no teams to play for, because once they filled up their rosters, it was like a country club. You couldn't break in. That's
right, and the players played for a long time, for years, and there was never a big change. Now they're up and down just like bicycles.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
I know I talked with a gentleman who had coached Lenny Thornton in Winnipeg, Dennis Ball. Mm-hmm. And I don't know whether you're aware of it or not, but Lenny's was inducted into the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame. And Dennis Ball, who had coached him, I said to Dennis, what do you think would happen, Dennis, if Lenny was a young fella today? And Dennis just started to laugh. He said, Bob, he'd be a multimillionaire.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think a lot of other guys, Jumbo, who played in those days, in your days, would have been in a similar position because of the skill levels and abilities.
Yeah, we were just, I'd say we're born 20 years too soon, Bob. And, that's all sports, I think, just like Mickey Mantle and them now, they're all making the ball players are making millions of dollars, and they played for what in today's ranks was really nothing.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing: having lived and grown up with all you guys, I'll guarantee you they're not having the fun anymore.
No, it's strictly business now, isn't it?
The camaraderie of teams in the past was more than just on the ice.
Oh, Bob, we were just like one big family. With the years we had our really good teams, we were just like a big family. After the games, we all went out together, and if we partied, we all partied together, and if we lost, we all lost together. It wasn't. Those were just really great times in my life.
And you know, it's incredible how many times when the parties went on, they weren't at the local bars, they were at players' homes, and everybody showed up, the wives came along, and the parties were just fun.
Yep, that was just a fun time in my life.
Well, I know it, having gone through now, goodness sakes, 41 years of it, there are highlights that I have over the years that I remember, and I think probably those teams from, oh golly, say 59, 60 up through the early to mid-70s probably were what you might call the real fun times of my career with the Komets. Yeah. And you were a big part of that.
Well, I was, and I really enjoyed it, and I got to thank Ken. Ken brought us all along, and we didn't like Ken as a coach sometimes, but I'll tell you what, Ken always had results, and he was a gentleman. Treated you like a gentleman.
I always say, in some respects, Ken was kind of like the Bobby Knight of hockey. He picked his guys for the character they had. He didn't. Not always the guys with the most talent stayed here. If they didn't fit the mold of what he wanted for a hockey team, they were gone.
That's right. And I have in my career there, I saw a lot of good hockey players who had a lot of talent, couldn't play his style of hockey and couldn't live up to his expectations, and it didn't last very long.
And I mean, he had a heck of a moral code, I mean,
yep.
Fine and dandy, have your fun, come to play for me, don't disgrace yourself for the team, and you can live happily. And boy, you're right. Some pretty talented guys never stayed here because they just couldn't live right.
That's right. Yep.
But as it all went down the line, when did you get involved, or had you been involved in some of this, greenskeeping, groundwork, grass growing, etc. before you retired?
Yes, right out of high school, I started working at a golf course, and I'd worked at a golf course, in fact, all my life. And I sort of was an assistant green superintendent back home in Saskatoon before I came to Fort Wayne. And when I decided to stay down here, I looked around for a couple of years till I did find a golf course out in Defiance, Ohio, where I could start up my career again.
I remember teeing it up out in Defiance at your place there a few times.
Right. Yes, Bob. Right.
Also
we
remember
had so many good games.
Lots of fun and many laughs, and I remember teeing it up over in Lima too. You had a great course over there.
Yes, we did, Bob. And I golf, as I said, is my second love, and but I made a better move by moving away from the golf course.
Yes, indeed. I know you had at one point in time some rather borderline experiences with health, John. How's it going these days?
That's very good, Bob. I've been like almost 10 years now in remission, and everything has really been great.
And by now, for sure, if there was anything that was going to crop up or arise, you certainly would know about it.
That's right. They said, just forget about it. They don't think you'll ever have a problem there again.
So there we go, and everybody's going to live happily ever after.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm glad we finally caught you to have a chance to talk with you, John. And, of course, as a member of what turned out to be the greatest scoring line in the history of the I.H.L. And, you guys did it back in the days when they weren't playing 82 games either.
That's right. We were only playing 71 games.
You were playing 70 games that year, because that was the year Dubček got the 72 goals, and he did it in the 70-game season.
In 70-game season, right.
And let's see, Jumbo, I think you had 35 goals and 79 assists, which must have been a pretty good year for you.
Yes, that was probably my best year that I had in the International League, the most goals and most assists, right.
Well, it was an incredible year. I know when I talked to Bobby Rivard, he remembered immediately, what the occasion was. He didn't quite recall his figures, which is unusual. Bobby didn't too often miss.
No, Bobby didn't miss too many of those.
Not at all, but you're all in good health, I might add, and at the same time, maybe we can get that line of Rivard, Dubček, and Goodwin going in the next old-timers game, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of memories, and I'm sure you'll have a heck of a lot of fun.
That would be great fun.
Jumbo, we appreciate your time, and we wish you well. We're glad you're in good health, and have yourself a good summer. Maybe we can break out the sticks pretty soon, eh?
I would enjoy that, Bob. Thank you very much.
John, thanks very much, and have a good day.
Thanks, Bob.
All right, Johnny Goodwin, of course, old number 9. Back in those days, another significant thing was a lot of people never wanted to wear number 9 because that had a sort of a stick. Gordie Howe wore number 9. All the big wheels wore number 9, didn't they?
Yep, Rocket Richard, Andy Bathgate, Gordie Howe, all the big. That was, when you were growing up. When I was growing up, if you were number 9, you were the best player on the team. So It was nowadays it doesn't have that meaning to the younger guys, but it sure does to the older guys.
Yeah, that was a hell of a tradition, and I know Jumbo really didn't want number 9, but in those days, he ordered 15 sweaters. Okay.
That's right. You got what you got what they gave you.
If you handed out and got number 9, baby, you wore number 9, and that's about the way it went.